We're here at CES 2019 with a British company, very innovative, very interesting. I actually learned about this company before CES, and cool thing is that company is called what3words, and interesting thing is that this technology can be used in many ways to deliver healthcare services to people in need during emergencies, during earthquakes, disasters, in population areas where there are no addresses, for example, in slums. And we have Mr. Jones from the company who will explain to us how the technology works.
Hey, so yes, it's called what3words, and it's just a very simple way to talk about location. We've divided the world up into 57 trillion 3 meter by 3 meter squares, and we've given each one of those squares a 3-word address. So 3 dictionary words to describe any spot on the planet. And we've done that in English, in French, but we've also done it in Russian and Chinese and Japanese.
And do you have an iPad to show us
Sure.
how it works?
So here we are. I'll just move into our English language version. But as you can see, as you move through every single square, at the bottom you have the 3-word address. So the system is being used by the emergency services in the UK. It's being used by the Red Cross. It's being used by the United Nations to respond to disasters. Because if I type in a street address, if I have a street address, it can be not very accurate.
Yeah, some buildings are big and they have poor sight.
For example, massive hotel, pin drops in the center of the hotel, not the entrance or the exit. And that's frustrating for us if we're trying to find our way around. If I'm a delivery company, that's going to cost me a lot of money. If I'm a first responder, emergency services, finding this spot is critical. A couple of minutes could make the difference between life and death. So that's why we're being used in all these different circumstances and by emergency services, because they can be incredibly precise about where the problem is.
You also mentioned that Mercedes uses your system, like you say to Mercedes 3 words, and it knows where to navigate. And my thinking is the same thing could be used, for example, for drones to deliver medications or pick up blood samples from patients in need or so.
Yeah, exactly that. So we've been built into Mercedes-Benz, both their consumer vehicles, but also their commercial vehicles as well. So yes, it can be as simple as jumping into a car or an ambulance, for example, saying 3 words and going to that exact spot. We are being used by drone delivery companies and also by accessible autonomous vehicles. So again, you can just get into an autonomous bus and say 3 words and it knows exactly where you want to go.
Do you have a system to identify not just horizontal but vertical position?
Right, it's something that we're working on. Currently we're focused on 2D, so the entrances and exits to buildings. One of the challenges is we're a GPS system, so we convert long and complex GPS coordinates to words and back again. GPS doesn't currently work very well indoors, but when it does, we'll be ready for it.
You also mentioned that population centers have 3 words that are simpler,
yes,
and more rural areas that are far out in the boonies are basically more complicated words.
So we've done interesting things, like we've removed rude words from the system, and then we've put shorter, more memorable words in places that speak that language. And then the other thing we've done is we've put similar words really far apart. So for example, table chair lamp is in America, table chair damp is in Australia. So if you mishear it or mistype it or missay it, the system goes, I think you meant table chair lamp, because that's 5 miles away. So we've got a built-in error detection system into it. If I get into my car in London, I say take me to Park Road. It says there's 27 Park Roads in London. Which one do you want? Whereas I can get into my car and say take me to Index Home Raft. There's only one of them.
And your system is proprietary. It's not open source or.
No, so it's a proprietary system. We license our software to businesses. For aid and humanitarian, there's either a nominal fee or it's free. And then for individuals, we have a free app and a free website to use. So we're trying to do the right thing and make it as accessible as possible while also making money.
You also mentioned there is a app or add-on for Google Maps to translate the words.
The way that works is you can pass a 3-word address from our app to Google Maps or to Uber or to Lyft or to Apple Maps or any other navigation system you've got on your device, at which point our algorithm turns it back from 3 words to GPS coordinates and Google receives the coordinates. So yes, you can interface, but we're talking with a number of different navigation platforms and search engines about accepting a 3-word address, so you can just type it into a search bar and it knows exactly where you want to go.
Well, we are a medical devices publication, and one of the things that is a big deal in medicine is security, not just security, but also stability of the system.
Right.
So what do you have built into your software to keep it reliable and available for first responders or?
So the system is interesting because it's an algorithm rather than a database. It works offline. So you don't need a data connection for the system to work. You can still get a 3-word address and navigate to a 3-word address with no data, which is key. The second thing is that you can either use our API or you can take the entire software and build it in as SDK. So for example, we're built into Mercedes-Benz. They have the whole system in their car. They don't need to talk to our system at all. So in that way, it is super stable and super reliable.
Very interesting system.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.